YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Christina, aka Working Mommy Daily. I am here with you today with a very exciting new series. For this series, we are going to interview women that really shaped my life and my career and helped me throughout my journey. And who's better to start this interview with but Miss Kathy Doughty herself, my mentor, my superior at work, and one of my dearest friends. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Christina, and thank you so much for inviting me to join you on your YouTube. It has been a pleasure to have you on our service, and I knew the first time that I met you, your career would be enabled and that you would do great things. And it has been a pleasure to have you on our team and see you evolve through many aspects of your life and career and how well you've integrated that.
Thank you for saying that.
It's my pleasure.
You have empowered me a lot. We're here to learn more about you and how you've built this confidence, being a working mom and having multiple degrees and working your way up through the ranks, surviving a lot of adversities and a lot of things that life thrown your way. So if you can get us started from undergrad and
Sure.
moving up, and how everything started for you.
Well, I graduated from UCLA and I wanted to work in medicine. And so I went to work for the manufacturers. I started out with Pfizer Pharmaceutical, then I went over to J&J or Technicare, GE, and then I wound up in inpatient and outpatient radiology imaging. Really enjoyed my career, worked as a Lean Six Sigma black belt over to Level 1 Trauma Center, who is now currently our hospital partner, and then came over on the academic side. So I really had a tremendous experience. The only thing I haven't had that has been dedicated has been pediatric. I haven't worked in a children's hospital, and I haven't worked in an oncological setting. I've had multi-specialty and Level 1 trauma. But to answer some of your questions in terms of being female and coming up through the ranks, I think it's imperative to have a champion. I was lucky. I didn't have a lot of female champions early on in my career, but I did have some very good male mentors that were MDs that really helped me in my service work and in the direction that I needed to go in. Later on in my career, I was championed by many women. And I think it's very important to have those champions, regardless of their gender. You have to have people that can help you walk you through certain pathways. I also had children during my career. I had domestic help, which kept me 100% productive. My children's father also worked. And then I became head of household when my children were small and had to work. And I picked up consulting jobs, additional moonlight jobs, in addition to my regular one that I could do in the evening that brought more things to my primary position. There were also some adversity that hit, and I think women are typically challenged much more so than that because we still are running the house. Yes, our husbands and the father of our children are very helpful, but it still primarily falls on women. And keeping all that together and juggling all that and multitasking so that it's healthy. And then my children had chores because I was head of household and they could do it. And that worked extremely well for all of us. My career has morphed into many different things, and I have been a proponent of higher education, and those that have come in to work for us here are encouraged to do so. And we have successfully had 10 people finish their baccalaureates. We have had almost 9 finish their master's work and 2 PhDs. So I'm really proud of that over the last 11 years.
So what is your advice now to young women who are considering starting a family, but they're early on in their career and they don't know what is the right time to have children, how it will affect them? Is it hard? All of that. Talk us through it.
You know, in terms of wanting to prepare for your family and reproductivity, that's something that you need to give careful thought to. It is imperative that you have a system to sustain your legacy. However that's going to be, and certainly with your career, obviously, most of us are working, and FMLA is in place. If somebody wants to take that time off, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, if they need to extend their leaves, they can. Most of your employers are very supportive of that. And a lot of times that work is done even when people are on FMLA. I know you came in a time or two, and you had everything set up so that we could manage it. And it worked out beautifully. I think what's really important is for women to have a plan, and what does that look like, and how they want their careers to continue. And you never really know until your baby gets here.
Did you do your graduate degree after having children, or was it before?
I did my graduate work after I had my children. My youngest was 3 when I started my graduate work, and then when I finished, he was 5.
And how did you find that experience? Were you working full-time as well?
I was working in a level 1 trauma center, and I went to school here in the Houston Health Science Center, and I had an outstanding experience. Both of my faculty advisors were physicians, and I did projects for them that worked in with the work that I was doing. So my experience was outstanding. I was treated well, and I also had tuition reimbursement. So it was a good experience. I did. Some of the coursework that I did was online. Some of it was on ground. It was a combination. So, and the special projects that I did in my CAP courses helped expedite that. But no, it was an outstanding experience.
How did you manage your time with spending time with 3-year-olds are very demanding. So how did you find that kind of time to where mommy's not running off to work, mommy is not, doesn't have a paper due and by midnight?
Those are good questions. What I did at that time was when the children would go to sleep, I would go upstairs and go to work. I always worked my full-time job. And then when I came home to be with the children, I was with them. My children went to bed fairly early, and they were early risers. Mm-hmm. So I had that time with them. They would fall asleep between 8:30 and 9, and then they were up about 5:30. I was up at 5. So I had that time in the morning before I went to work, and it worked out beautifully.
Kathy's not only a superhero and a superwoman, all aspects that have inspired me in my life and my career. Kathy also kicked cancer's high knee. You want to talk to us about that?
Sure. I was diagnosed back in 2007 with breast cancer. I had gone in to have some work done, and it was discovered quite by chance. Anyway, I had to make some very serious decisions and put things together, obviously, for the children, work, and everything else. As I was going through all of it, I did bilateral mastectomies. I had free flap reconstruction. I also went through chemo and radiation and came out of it on the other side smoking hot. My life back in control, and that is when I began authoring the book, because there are really 5 scenarios that can happen. 1 is do nothing. 2, you're a surgical patient. 3, surgery chemo. 4, surgery and rads. 5, surgery, rads, and chemo. That's not any of the hormone suppression or any of the other, or reconstruction thrown in there. Those are separate. And at that time, for people that were navigating the medical maze, began to chart utilizing scientific methodology, or DMAIC, which is define, measure, analyze, implement, and control. I needed to help people manage the medical maze as they were coming through, so that they could define the best treatment that they needed and remove the odds for a reoccurrence. So it's nothing to be afraid of, although there is tremendous fear. But that's because of uncertainty, and it takes time to get your arms around it. People think they have 70 years plus 10. You don't. You have right here, right now, you and me, this minute. Anything you get over that is awesome. So it's imperative that you live your life to the max of your potential, and make sure that you have made plans for yourself. If you have young children, make sure your legacy is protected. Anyway, the book hit. It was a bestseller, and it won the Pinnacle Publishing Award. So I was very proud of that.
I will link the book below. It's sold on Amazon, correct?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
That you will find the link below in the description. How did you find mentoring people that are coming up through the ranks affected your life and your overall life, not just your career, but your happiness level and all?
It has affected it in a very positive manner, and it has contributed to a very high level of job satisfaction. As I see others attain their goals, it only makes me happier and very proud. And for any role that I played in it, if it made it better for them, it makes it better for me.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a true leader looks like. If you have one in your life, please recognize them. Go tell them thank you, because I could have not done any of the things that I have accomplished without you.
Thank you so much for having me join you. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much for giving me your time. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do below. Don't forget to hit the notification button, and we will come back to you with more of these videos.